A Pennsylvania grand jury is investigating an alleged systemic cover-up of child sexual abuse within the Jehovah's Witnesses organization.
A former leader of a York County congregation is now helping that grand jury. And as Fox 43's Harry Lee explains, the organization itself could be held responsible for the actions of its members.
A Pennsylvania grand jury has recently brought child sex abuse charges against 9 men, all Jehovah's Witnesses, in what some are calling the most extensive investigation ever done of the group. But it's following a familiar playbook written over 2 decades of similar investigations of the Catholic Church, the Philadelphia Diocese in 2003 and the Altoona-Johnstown Diocese in 2016. 2 other investigations looked into child sex abuse at Penn State and Solebury Boarding School in Bucks County.
There is no state in the country that has more knowledge about the way abuse operates in institutions than Pennsylvania.
In 2018, then Attorney General Josh Shapiro released a damning report that the state's remaining 6 dioceses had protected more than 300 predator priests.
That wasn't the only institution that we worked to hold accountable. Before I left the Attorney General's office, we made a handful of arrests of former Jehovah's Witnesses.
The crux of the Jehovah's Witnesses investigation hinges on whether elders, unpaid leaders in the church, qualify as clergy. In Pennsylvania, clergy are mandated reporters, meaning if they have reasonable cause to suspect a child is the victim of abuse, they legally have to report it to the authorities. But in 33 states, including the Keystone State, there's an exemption for clergy who learn about the abuse during personal spiritual communications, like confession.
This is a privilege that is created by the state. It is not required by the First Amendment.
Lawyers for Jehovah's Witnesses have argued in multiple court cases across the country that elders are clergy and therefore don't have to report confidential spiritual communications. In 2020, the Ivy Hill Jehovah's Witnesses congregation in Philadelphia asked a Commonwealth court to officially rule elders have clergy penitent privilege. The court denied the request. Jehovah's Witnesses wrote in a statement, Jehovah's Witnesses do not use full-time paid clergy. However, elders are ministers who often meet the statutory definition of clergy in the state where they reside, in that they are authorized to hear confessions. On the other hand, clergy still have to report abuse discovered outside of spiritual communication. That could open up lawsuits against elders who covered up known abuse.
Watchtower loves to say that we have no paid clergy, so therefore that they do not have to mandate reporting. But on the other hand, they want to play it both ways. Well, they want to say they want to have the privileges of clergy. So
Martin Hawk is a former Jehovah's Witnesses elder who didn't report his own daughter's sexual assaults to police for 11 years.
Even though I had doubts and fears, I was still a true believer at that time. So I thought that we would get justice for my daughter through the organization, not for the legal system.
A 2002 BBC report revealed Watchtower kept a secret database of allegations of child molestation. Hawk says it still exists.
Every Kingdom Hall has documents of child abuse, of drinking, spousal abuse, rape, homosexuality, any kind of thing, drug abuse going back for 70 years, the 1950s.
When Hawk was an elder, he admits he helped destroy some of them.
We were told by headquarters to shred all the records.
He left the religion in 2016 and is now helping with the investigation, which he says is why he was offered immunity from potential charges for not reporting abuse when he was an elder, though we could not confirm that with the Attorney General's office. Leaving the faith is called disfellowshipping in the church. Among those leaving, it's called waking up. Hawk says he now wants other elders to change their thinking on child sex abuse.
What I want to see is Jehovah's Witnesses, first, not call the branch, not call the headquarters, not call the legal department. I want to see every single time when they learn of child abuse, call the experts.
Legal experts say under more scrutiny, Jehovah's Witnesses may not have an option. They have to follow the law.
Whatever is happening within the religious community does not stand in for what must happen with respect to the law that applies to everybody else.
Jehovah's Witnesses said in a statement that elders do report abuse allegations as required by law, writing, "The religion of Jehovah's Witnesses does not shield any perpetrator of child abuse from the secular authorities." Pennsylvania last updated its child abuse code in 2014, leaving in clergy penitent privilege. Some lawmakers want to change that.
I can promise you that I will look to introduce a bill that will get that done.
Join us again tomorrow for a one-on-one interview with former Speaker of the House Mark Rozzi on why he's fighting to pass a window for survivors of child sex abuse to sue their abusers. Harry Lee, Fox 43 News.